by staggering one of the investigations into President Trump's inaugural committee. Federal prosecutors on Monday ordered their officials to hand out documents on donors, finances and activities, according to two people familiar with the investigation. The citation searches for documents related to all the donors and guests of the committee. Any distributed benefits, including income and opportunities for photos with the president. Federal disclosure requests. Providers. Contracts. And more, one of the people said. The new applications expand the research promoters opened late last year amid a wave of scrutiny from the inaugural committee. And they showed that investigations around Trump, previously focused on possible ties with Russia during the 2016 presidential election, extended well beyond the special counsel office to include virtually every aspect of his adult life, his business, your business, the campaign, your possession and his presidency. In the citation, the investigators also showed interest in knowing if the foreigners donated illegally to the committee, as well as if the members of the committee knew that such donations were illegal, asking for documents that established legal requirements for donations. Federal law prohibits foreign contributions to federal campaigns, political action committees and inaugural funds. The promoters also requested all documents related to suppliers and contractors with the inaugural committee, which raised a record of $107 million and spent generously. People familiar with the citation said prosecutors are interested in possible money laundering and election fraud, although prosecutors may not suspect the inaugural committee of such violations. The promoters cited those crimes in the citation simply as justification for their demand for documents, the people said. Only one individual was named as part of the demand for documents, Eeuu former fundraiser for President Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. He was looking for raids with Trump and whose company, Ventures Avenue, donated $900,000 for the inaugural committee. The citation also looks for documents related to your company. A spokesman, Steve Rabinowitz, said Zuberi did not know he had been named in the subpoena and noted that he gave generously and directly to the inaugural committee, along with many others who donated more. Another entity to which the subpoena seeks documents is Stripe, which created technology to help process credit card transactions. According to published reports, the company has Josh Kushner, the brother of Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, among its investors. Josh Kushner is not mentioned in the citation, and a spokesman for him refused to comment. A spokesman for the inaugural committee said he is still reviewing the citation and intends to cooperate with the investigation. A spokesman for the United States law firm in Manhattan declined to comment. ABC reported for the first time that an appointment was being made. Prosecutors sought the possibility of the inaugural committee making false statements to the Federal Electoral Commission, according to people next to the issue. It can be a crime to knowingly make false or fraudulent statements to a federal agency. The inaugural committee released a list of its donors for the commission, and prosecutors are examining whether that list is complete and accurate, the person said. If a donor were omitted from the report, prosecutors could also be interested in it. The chairman of the inaugural committee was Thomas J. Barrack, a close friend of the president. Barrack's close advisor working on the committee was Rick Gates, the former vice president of Paul Manafort, former president of the Trump campaign who was convicted and pleaded guilty to several crimes related to the investigation by special counsel, Robert S. Mueller. Mr. Gates pleaded guilty to financial fraud and lying to FBI and has cooperated with Mueller's team for almost a year. No one who worked for the commission was charged with a crime, and a subpoena is an initial step in the investigation. Mr. Barrack and other officials of the inaugural committee are not named in it. The U.S. law firm in Brooklyn is investigating separately whether possession officials helped foreigners illegally channel donations to Trump's inaugural committee using straw donors to disguise their donations, people informed of the investigation said. As part of their own investigation, developers in Manhattan are asking if foreigners illegally donated to Trump's inaugural committee. The Manhattan investigation into the inaugural committee grew out of the investigation into Michael D. Cohen, Trump's former lawyer and personal repairer. Cohen's case was a routing of Mueller's team to federal prosecutors in Manhattan. Cohen is scheduled to start a prison sentence next month, after pleading guilty last year to a series of crimes, including an allegation related to funding a campaign in which he implicated the president. Cohen spent more than 70 hours with researchers from the promoters of Manhattan and the Mueller team. In the raids of Mr. Cohen's office, at home and in the hotel room in April, the agents seized their mobiles, which included many dozens of voice recordings, mainly voicemail messages, according to people informed about the material seized. In one recording, Trump spoke with Cohen about paying a woman who claimed to have had a case with Trump, which he denied. In another, Cohen spoke with Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, who is one of the top authorities of the inaugural committee. Winston Wolkoff was fired as First Lady's advisor, Melania Trump, in early 2018, after the committee disclosed her financial disclosures showing that the entities controlled by Mrs. Winston Wolkoff received $26 million. The vast majority of these funds went to a subcontractor. The company of Winston Wolkoff made a commission of $1.6 million with the $26 million that, according to authorities, happened to pay 14 people.